All right. Actually, let me make sure that worked out. All right, fuck it. Am I recording? I think I am. Let me do a. Yeah. All right, cool. Just had to double check. I have never, for the record, I have never seen this match, but I saw whatchamacallit, the head coach at Bria. He's kind of a dickhead actually, but I probably shouldn't say that on the record. Oh well, I did it already. He thought I was a whatchamacallit, I think Felipe Andrew like fanboy or steroid supporter because I was like, USADA, National Doping Agency. I don't need to write it down. Everybody knows what USADA is. They shouldn't be monitoring what athletes do outside of their officially sanctioned competitions. And he's super for like no steroids in the sport, which isn't a bad thing. But yeah, I do not think he's a fan of me. Anyways, he runs jujitsu.net, and he was, a bit of a know-it-all. That's also unrelated, but he brought up this match, and also Will Wilson. He's on the up and up, and Jackson, the guy, he's an absolute
Final at a
quitter.
black belt major championship.
Shut up. All right, le double guard pull into reverse De La Hiva. I know he plays a lot of half guard and deep half, so that honestly makes sense. But he controls both legs immediately. I see he goes for reverse De La Hiva on the far leg, which is pretty cool. I've never seen a guard pull like that actually. Breaks him down to a knee, gets into single leg X. Yeah, that actually makes sense, honestly. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, because if he pulls right here, and then you don't really like need this foot on the inside for single leg X in the gi. You don't need it like right here or right here, wherever you want to put it, like hooked somewhere in there. You can leave it on the outside, kind of on their hip. A lot of people call this low guard, I think. Or, well, I know one guy who calls it low guard. That's what I call it to differentiate it from single leg X. But yeah, he can just swing that other foot around. But he actually pushes to make a little space. But you see his foot's still on the outside, and that's completely acceptable in the gi since you can't get heel hooked. Loses control over the secondary leg, which is very sad. Goes for a collar grip to break his posture, but he doesn't get it. So Jackson can stand up straight, and he can start fighting grips. Has a sleeve. That sleeve grip, it actually prevents like a lot of movement. Because it kind of like forces you to stay kind of square on the back. Craig does something similar from back control. Please bear with my like shitty drawings. But like this guy, he'll control the guy's like bottom arm. He'll pull it upwards to like stop them from rotating. I believe it's to either stop them from putting their back on the mat or stop them from turtling. Either or. Goes for a belt grip. You know. Oh, thank you, referee. Wow. Yeah, they always find a way to stand in front of the cameras. I've been complaining about this forever. Got a cross sleeve. Jackson's just breaking any grip that would keep his posture low. And he's not in too much sweeping danger. He can get off balance, but like in my opinion, the only real way to hit a sweep from this position is to control the secondary leg. This is super important for leg locking in general. Like you honestly can't do any type of bolo or leg lock anymore without controlling that. People are just too good at rotating out or putting their hips on the mat and escaping. And building back up really. But as long as he keeps like this sleeve controlled, he's not in an insane amount of danger in my opinion. And yeah, he's just looking to strip that foot off, pushes that in, but um, Will's arm gets in the way. He can't actually, like, he, in an ideal world, thank you, ref, he drops this knee down into the hip pocket. Like, when J point camping works that way, but this is a terrible drawing. You always want to control the space between the knees and the elbows, and the hip pockets are super important for that. But since he doesn't manage to get into that area, since Will's arm is kind of in the way, Will can just pull his knee back in. Nice little recovery. Keeps that sleeve grip. I think it was also Landrolo who used that a lot. Probably a bunch of guys, but Will switches into X guard because he gets his foot stripped. Pretty standard. I probably paused at a terrible time because they're in transition, but I think he's lost the sleeve. No, he has the sleeve grip still. And then, as a general rule of thumb, cross grips are stronger than straight grips. That's more true from guard, in my opinion, but it is a generally good rule of thumb. Back steps. Back into this kind of half guard reverse De La Hiva position. Will also plays deep half. This is why I wanted to make this, because I know you do. But yeah, he starts pulling himself in there. Let's see how Jackson deals with it. Still maintaining that sleeve grip. It's a really useful one. You can pair it well with collar grips as well. Yep. I love it when I'm right. But I don't know why he lets go of the straight grip. I want to see. Oh yeah, armpit grip. The Japanese judokas actually do this a lot. They go like collar and armpit or collar and elbow to throw you instead of just traditional grips. All right, cool. I didn't blow up my screen. I've always wondered about using this in jiu-jitsu. Yep. I will say this. Not Marcelo. Yeah, Marcelo Andre, or whatever his name is. Tarcisio trains under him. And Levi actually also stresses this. But when it comes to like Crazy Dog versus X Pass, or probably better way of saying it is controlling the top leg or the bottom leg of the guard player, generally speaking, the top leg is going to bring you closer to a pass. Because you can use a lot more movement to get past the bottom leg, but like a really good flexible guard player is always going to be able to bring their top leg back in and stuff your pass. But if you get that thing out of the way, you're going to be like way, way closer to a pass than if you were to just control the bottom leg and try and like get underneath this top leg with like head pummels and shoulder movement and stuff. Joseph Chen is really good at that. Levi Jones Leary's coach, also really good. Not Lachlan, the guy from Unity. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. He's really famous for the over-under pass. I'm very sad that I forgot his name. It's that guy with like the super deep voice. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. But he ran Unity. I really want to remember the name, so I can just, for my own sake, I just want to remember. So I'm looking it up real quick. Bum 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 bum. Unity Jiu-Jitsu. UnityJujitsu.com. About us. Gift cards. Of course, my phone's being slow. Why would it ever be fast? Especially when I need to use it. Unity Jiu-Jitsu. I'm just gonna head coach. I may even use AI for this. I'm so impatient. Dun, dun, dun. Murillo Santana. I can't believe I forgot that. Embarrassing. Anyways, let's keep going. This is actually kind of a risky grip to take. Actually not. It's a risky grip to take if this foot wasn't in here, so disregard that. Alright, so with deep half, the main danger, and both Gordon Ryan and Josh Cisneros from Aries up in Phoenix are really good at this. It's called the black hole, but it's basically like anytime you're in half guard, or reverse De La Hiva, you can attack like a back triangle like really fast if you manage to get this knee, Jackson's knee, underneath your opponent's head. and then like swing the foot across here and get it underneath this leg. You kind of just like Jackson would just like have to like sit to his ass out in this direction and start pummeling this knee around the corner. Eventually get his foot over here. There's also a little bit of Kimura danger on this arm right here, which is what I believe Jackson's trying to set up, if he's not just trying to strip the script. But it's something like worth being aware about. And it's actually one of the main reasons that you don't really see too much deep half in Nogi, because Gordon popularized that a lot. I have Josh Cisneros' back attack DVD on BJJ Fanatics, actually. I've been seeing more people hit it lately. I think it's very good. I've never hit it myself personally, but this situation right here is kind of perfect for it because Will's back is off the floor. So there's actually room for this knee to get pummeled around and for him to start getting put in danger. He just stands back up though. But yeah, Will stays in this position. I don't know if I approve yet. We'll see. It looks like Will's good at it. Again, Jackson's super focused on controlling that sleeve. I think that's a pretty good takeaway from this because it's making Will's life really, really damn hard. This sweep, I don't know too much. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know a lot about deep half. I'll have to go back and learn more about it after this. I know Flow Grappling just made a video about Will's deep half game. Maybe I'll watch another Will match after this one. I think that's what we're going to do if this doesn't run forever, which it might. Dun, 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 dun. Looking to trap Will's arm with his own lapel. I've seen some people do that before, but gi is not my strong suit. I will say that. So I am learning as we go. We're learning together today. Probably looking for that Bravo choke crossface, maybe. But yeah, he's absolutely just hard set on maintaining that grip. And his balance is really good, so I'm not too sure what Will's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to make some space so he can invert underneath, but that sleeve grip that Jackson has is going to make it very hard. And he's framing his elbow against his face. Probably was trying to keep it out of that position. But you see, like right here, he's almost at like a back triangle. If he were to like swing this around the corner and sit to his ass, he'd be pretty deep into one. Except Will's arm is Will's arm's on the wrong side, but it's just a question of like pummeling this foot out and switching to the back triangle on the opposite side, if that makes sense. I believe that's actually the correct way to attack it. So you'd have to like swing this leg around the corner, probably push on this, and then swing this leg across. And lock up, the triangle like this, around this head and arm. I think, yeah, that sounds correct to me. That may even be what he's trying to do. He's trying to open up some space between Will's elbow and his knee. If he clears that foot, Will's going to be in trouble. But yeah, this sleeve grip's just completely shutting down Will's game, respectfully. Doing a good job of, there's this one guy, John Calistine. He really stresses when it comes to hand fighting, controlling the knuckle line, which is just like basically getting, if their knuckles are facing you, you get your palm on them. If their palms are facing you, you get your like palms on like the opposite side of their knuckles, but it gives you pretty good control over their hand. It's it's actually a little bit better than wrist control in my opinion because it's harder to pummel out of. But yeah, that's probably pretty unpleasant for Will. A little bit of a wrist lock effect going on there. Jackson just being slow and stubborn as you have to be in the gi. Again, trying to trap that arm. Just a little micro battle going on here. Will's trying to get under him. Jackson's trying to trap that arm and break his wrist, I guess. Um, I believe this is technically, yeah, this is a cross grip. Okay, Will's going for this lapel right here. Let's see what he does with it. I think he actually ends up scoring here, if I'm not wrong. I haven't watched this match before, though, so. Got an absolute iron grip on that lapel. He's not giving it up. Did he just posture out of it? Oh no, he grabs it and rips it. That makes more sense. Yeah, and he finally manages to. Yeah, Will lets go to grab a scoop grip, and that's finally what lets Jackson out of the position. But Jackson very conscious of keeping his elbow and his knee together to keep Will's foot out. That's great. Will has a cross sleeve right now. But it's worth mentioning, this applies to wrist control too. Every time you have like control over like someone's wrist or their sleeve, they have a little bit of control over your arm too. This is worth keeping in mind. You can, I use that sometimes. Oh, gets into a nice leg drag here, and yeah, just passes the foot off lightning quick. It's very hard for Will to turn back into him and prevent this leg drag because he's got this grip on the pant here. And he can't put his elbow on the floor to turn. Yeah, Will realizes he's super close to getting past, so he turtles. And then nice little recovery into deep half. I've got no clue. I only know that he trains in Cali. That's all I know about this kid. Keeping that foot trapped so he doesn't get triangled. He's in some serious danger of a mounted triangle here. Jackson looks happy. He's in a pretty great positioning. I think he got an advantage for almost passing Will's legs. Or for passing and not securing. But yeah, it gets into the same position, same goal. Controlling the out of that. I'm trying to break his wrist. Fucking dickhead. Actually, Will extending his legs, even though it may look bad, but it allows him to pinch way tighter on this foot. You can probably figure that out, but worth mentioning in my opinion. That that wrist is definitely injured by now, and wrist injuries aren't that bad, but they also kind of suck. I'd be pretty mad because I jack off with my left hand. Pretty disappointed if I lost that ability. Just trying to knee cut here. I don't know if I'd pull up on the pants. I might push down in this situation. Try and keep him static. Hide my heel. Just try and slip it through. Never really seen anyone pass like this, but I have not watched enough gi matches. And passing is probably what I'm worst at. Yep, and we're back to the same position. Will is still trying to hit that pass off with that lapel. Kind of goes for like a reverse single leg here. Thank you, referee. Oh, he moved. Awesome. Hey, he's got 2-on-1 on the lapel now. I think he's just trying to get out the back door. That's all I know how to do from deep half. Kind of wrestle up, I guess, but like get out the back door and either wrestle up and go to the crab right. That's all I know about the position. I'm not gonna call myself an expert. I never used that shit. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, Will's surviving here. He's not winning. Could see the look of frustration on Jackson's face, but he's not losing either. Well, down by an advantage, but he's down by an advantage on bottom. If he sweeps Jackson near the end, Jackson's going to be in a very rough position. Goes for an Americana here, but Will bridges and turns into it. I've been Americana'd before. It's very embarrassing. Guy on top of me was very heavy, though. And he puts himself back into a more traditional half guard. And then back into deep half. Maybe Will should learn how to leg lock. How would he hit a leg lock from here? I guess he has the single leg X entry. He could maybe try and... It all involves turning back into Jackson. But he could maybe... Nah, his wrist is getting controlled. He can't put in a cross lat. Alright, yeah, it would be very hard to leg lock Jackson. From there, that sleeve grip, that cross sleeve grip is just... It pretty much won Jackson the match. And then he kicks out, but Will wrestles up. And then start counting 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. The reason why I count is because both competitors need to have a combined total of 3 feet on the ground for 3 seconds for it to be considered a standing position and for Will to get takedown points. Penalty for Jackson for fleeing the mat. Two for Will. I wonder why. I believe if Jackson fled on purpose, Will scores 2. I can kind of see why they would give that to him. You know what? Let's open the IBJJF rulebook. Let's do it. Why not? Anti-doping. What? Anti-doping. IBJJF rules. All right. Let's look at the out of bounds rules. These are their signals. Let's see here. Point scoring. All right, takedown. He didn't establish any of this on all fours or belly down. Let's see, did he 4-point? That's the real question. Yeah. On all fours. That's interesting. I mean, keeping at least one of the opponents. He didn't have 3 seconds of controls though. The outlying safety area. Hmm. Yeah, this is the rule I was talking about earlier. Yeah, honestly, I think the rules are pretty clear for the most part. People just don't take the time to read them. Um, yeah, we want the out of bounds rules still, buddies. Yeah, advantages. Yeah. Um, yeah, near completion of point scoring, so that makes sense. He deserved that advantage. Yeah. Um, boo. These are penalties. I want to know the out of bounds rules. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so they kind of cover it here. This one's really complicated. This one is very stupid. Alright. I think this is what I was looking for. When the athlete deliberately runs away from the fight area to avoid consolidation of the opponent's score, with a penalty and award their opponents with 2 points. Yeah, so this is what I was looking for. That's the, yeah, that was the fleeing rules. And so I guess they called him for fleeing, which is interesting. Yep. I missed the penalty. That's why I was wondering. So they called him for fleeing, which is interesting. And they are reviewing it, and I believe these 2 points get withdrawn. No. Goes for a crab ride. Gets his hips out of there. Takes him back into the crab ride. Nice little foot sweep there. I don't know what I'd call that, but it's not bad. Staying very, very sticky to Jackson's back. Then he falls forward. Hoff was actually super duper duper. I was gonna say stressful. That's the wrong word. He stresses until I think it's you have like your hooks in or like a good connection to the opponent's hips. Your arms should stay behind their elbows. So pretty much no seat belch. And yeah, he does a front flip. I should really learn what those hand motions mean. Jackson grabs a single. 1, 2, 3. This should be a takedown. This should really be a takedown. Yep. Gets his takedown points. He's very, very happy boy. Loses back control. Wiggles his tongue a little bit. And yep. It's over with. Not a bad performance by Will. Not bad at all, but this last takedown really just fucked him over. He gets advantages for, I believe, this near takedown. And almost securing the back. Like right here, since Will's hand is off the floor, no takedown. I believe almost a takedown. I shouldn't have closed the rules. That's yeah, these are not what I wanted to open. Oh, I didn't close the rules. Dope. Advantage from back control when an athlete mounts traps both the opponent's arms. Mounts. Yeah, so that's why he got his advantage. He only had 1 hook in. Advantage from takedown. Sideways so the images that we saw earlier without stabilizing. Applies a takedown, receives takedown, and the opponent returns to their feet for stabilization. Yep. So I believe this is why he got the advantage. 3.4 and 5.5. Yep, and that's why they gave it to him at the end, sorry. Oh, yeah, well. Yeah, and that's how he wins that one. Gets one hook in, which is the top hook. Top hook versus bottom hook is quite the debate. I wouldn't even worry about it. Just get your hooks in. As his ankles crossed, and yeah, he almost took his back. He got the takedown. Pretty nice. It's a little Brazilian celebration on the white boy. Let's see.